a divine being. Plato definitely believed in a divine being. He called it the One. And the Hermetic doctrines do as well. But what we do demand is the freedom to research that and think about it and study it and compare and contrast. So in a sense, this table itself has grown out of that philosophical tradition. It's because I've sat at the feet of these Renaissance humanists that I've produced this as a guide for the next generation of thinkers that can come and figure this all out, you know. Okay. Any comments, questions? Obviously there's a lot here. Have you studied these? There was a chap in France, Lefebvre d'Etaples, who's famous. Have you come across him? Lefebvre d'Etaples. He was the great French humanist.
Excuse me. No, I don't know.
Of Francis I.
No.
He was part of this Hermetic tradition. And there were several, you know. The other guy in France was a brilliant polymath.
Montaigne?
Yeah, well, yes, yeah. He was a Renaissance humanist, yeah. But there was another chap who was more interested in the esoteric side of things, who was a friend of Francis I.
Rabelais? Not Rabelais?
No. He's not so well known. The name will come to me when I stop looking. Like stars, you have to look slightly.
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah. But no, so that whole Renaissance humanism thing came to France, big time. And it was Francis I, as a king, sponsored it. And that's why he invited Leonardo da Vinci to come here and live at Amboise, which I've been to the grave of. Have you been to Amboise?
I don't think so.
Everyone should visit. That's why I'm trying to set up the Leonardo da Vinci Peace Prize, to kind of get the Nonagon built, to damp down the Pentagon's exuberant military capitalism. Now I know the source, it's quite easy, we know how to do all that. Just have to get some economists to work out the equations of why peace is better for everyone than war long term. Okay, I think we should invoke a couple of gods, don't you think, just to finish? Because there's having decided we're not going to go down the atheist route, so we're allowed to be polytheistic. Or is it just one? That's the question. Right. Okay, let's choose that one. You have a go. Okay. Saturn. Yeah, the three of Earth. Or Ops, as he's called. Sorry, his wife is called Ops. There she is beside him. And she's the kind of special ops I like. I don't like black ops. I like Saturn's wife, who's called Ops. And is the origin of the word, ops, actually. And she was the goddess of plenty, and also the origin of the word office, official, copying, because she multiplies everything. If you fall in love with Ops, you know, it all duplicates. And Saturn in Roman religion was quite a good god. He was the god of the Golden Age. And that's why he's an earth god, because he produced fruit and growing things and trees. And in Roman religion, Saturn was greatly loved. He was a beneficent Roman god. In those days, when Saturn ruled, everyone had enough. There was enough to eat. Rivers never dried up. There were not forest fires. Women and men loved each other. So this three of Earth is an auspicious card. He's the Lord of Time, so he's shown carrying an hourglass. And also, he's got a scythe, because, you know, he has to cut down the crops to make the bread. But that's just part of life. And Ops and he, his adored wife, had children, including Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, Juno, Ceres, and Vesta. So all the important Roman gods were children of Saturn and Ops. And there was his festival, it's called the Saturnalia, every December, which is the origin of Christmas, where you give presents and the slaves are made the masters of the house for a couple of days. So the Romans, you know, that was Saturn, going back to the Golden Age. It's a bit, if only Marx had understood a bit more of the subtlety of religion, he would have realised that communism is just a Saturn project, and that it should be done with love, jollity and festivals, not with shooting matches like Lenin tried. So anyway, yeah, the origin of his wife's name, opulence, office, etc., had a hall of plenty. Okay, so I think it's an auspicious card. What I'm saying in this talk is that we need to get back to the time of plenty for the planet. Look at the poor people of Gaza, all the victims of the shock doctrine. I mean, old Milton Friedman's gone now, he's dead, thank God, and his ideas need to die with him. We need to have a oh, by the way, a bit of news here. The father of Kamala Harris is an economist from Jamaica who keeps a very low profile, Mr. Harris, or Dr. Harris, who is from the opposite camp of economists than Milton Friedman. He's from the Keynesian school, he's on the left centre, and he's been an advisor to Jamaica, which has had a very good economy recently. It never had the shock doctrine because Dr. Harris was able to convince the IMF to hands off Jamaica. And so it's really interesting. So Kamala, when she becomes president, fingers crossed, will be, you know, she stands for the completely opposite to the Milton Friedman school. And I think that's very auspicious. So let's get back to the time of plenty of Saturn and Ops. So everybody has enough food in their larder to feed themselves and their children. That's what we need, isn't it? But if for some reason that all goes pear-shaped, we've always got Vishnu.
Oh.
He will step in and help because he is the maintenance god of the universe. And, you know, I have many dear friends who follow Vishnu, and I've been to temples in India dedicated to him. You know, he is there to give backup to Ops and Saturn. If we can't get the Golden Age, then Vishnu is going to come and help. And I think, yeah, I think it would be good. I think that's a little shout out for the everyone to read The Betrayal of India book, because this was against Vishnu. The people that plotted this and did this, these complete nutters, some of whom claim to be doing it in the name of extreme Hindu right-wing stuff, RSS type stuff, they're anti-Vishnu, who's trying to save India for everyone as a civilized, beautiful, welcoming place of culture, celebrating its Sikh heritage, its Jain heritage, its Buddhist heritage, its Theosophical heritage, its Freemasonic heritage, its Zoroastrian heritage, its Christian heritage, and its Hindu heritage in all its complexity. Those are the real people of India that Vishnu is working with, metaphysically speaking. And the people that did this are like just Milton Friedmanite types who just think smash, smash and destroy. And that's all they can do. So, yes. So there's a lot of work to be done. Okay, there we are. That's this week. We've got a lot of work to do here. And by the way, Saturday is our favourite day of the week, isn't it? Saturn's Day. We're all happy then. And the irony is that, well, no, we won't go into that. We all love Saturday. The irony is that the ancient world decided that Yahweh was actually Saturn. All the philosophers of Greece and Rome that studied Judaism and its history and all that said, well, they're worshipping Saturn. I think that holds out a possibility of peace, because if it's true, and there's certain correlations here, that then we can get a sort of general agreement to go for plenty and peace, and we can disarm the militarized capitalist state, both in America and Israel and Britain, which is also, part of its operation, and decide to go for the golden age. Okay, there we are. Thank you so much for listening, and let's hope that there's no more shocks this week. We don't want a war with Iran, excuse me, but that's really a bad idea. I mean, what we want is an educational discussion with Iran, which is why I became a research fellow at the University of Denominations and Religions in Qom, and served some time there, because I believe in discussion with my intellectual brothers and sisters in Iran, and they're some of the most sophisticated philosophers in history, going right back to Zoroaster. So, yeah, more philosophy and less wars, in a nutshell. That's what I believe here. Thank you. Good.